A rat, an addict, delusional, and lovable. Enter Rat, part-time security guard, full-time cider drinker. An accidental philosopher in the middle of an addiction. He's not your typical villain. He's more of a walking, talking, cautionary tale with a tail. His banter with Mr. Fox slices through the narrative like his beloved switchblade. He is by far one of the most interesting characters in the beloved movie Fantastic Mr. Fox. Rat's complexity is seen through each slurred word and staggered step. Hurt, rats, hurt, period.
How's your old lady doing?
You refer to my wife?
She was the town tart in her day. Wild and footloose and...
A tormented soul with time and pain on his mind. He is a rodent that dances with his demons while searching for meaning at the end of a cider bottle, shipwrecked and shackled by his own devices. The cider, for Rat, represents an escape, a treasure he guards not just physically, but emotionally. He assaults to avoid looking in the mirror. His continuous sipping from a straw, coupled with his defensive and territorial dialogue, underscores his reliance on this substance. It's his solace, his golden escape from reality, his calming place that leads to more misery. Like chewing glass to find peace, he embodies pride and desperation, a misguided voyeur of life that lost his way. He likes to cut with a blade and his words to fill the pain. And yes, this was based completely off two scenes. Just like in life, it isn't about time spent, but the journey, the meaning, the experience, and the horrible, horrific, and amazing things in between. The encounter between Rat and Mr. Fox in the cider cellar is charged with tension and undercurrents of past connections and conflicts, a familiar knowing and critical comparison. When Mr. Fox comments on Rat's appearance with "You've aged badly, Rat," it's more than an observation. It's an acknowledgement of the toll Rat's lifestyle and choices have taken on him.
Round these parts, we don't take kindly to cider poachers.
You've aged badly, Rat.
This interaction is not just a confrontation, but a reflection on paths taken and the consequences of those choices. I always had this thought in my head: we are nothing more than trillions of decisions made that brought us to this moment, this snapshot in time. And just like the rat, that applies to him, you, me, and us. As we know, drug addiction of all kinds have its pain, suffering, and lashes and bruises. Drug addiction can ravage the body and melt the brain. It can erase memories. It can weaponize thoughts to hunt you with regret. It can destroy cells and self-esteem. Mental illnesses, too, often dance dangerously with substance abuse, each worsening the other. A toxic couple that poisons everything around. Rotting relationships and spoiling dreams. It spreads like a splattered shadow, causing heart disease and heartache. The rat is us, but he has the audacity to wear his badge proudly, or maybe with optimistic shame.
Being security, why are you wearing that badge? What is it?
It's my job.
Wow!
We often deceive ourselves to justify the chains we choose. We cloak our poor choices in the guise of necessity, forging identities from these deceptions. Like Rat's illusory role as being security, we too cling to our constructed titles, badges, lies, and stories. We seek purpose in jobs that stifle and destroy our soul. Barter our life off for our daily bread. Money for time when the price is right. We stay in relationships that dim our spirits. Wear fake lives like fake mink coats. We drink emotional poison to feel alive. We dress for a ball that we were never invited to, but play along in the game of life. What would our badge say if we had one? We are adept at building fortresses of rationalization to shield our egos from the painful truth of our actions. Thoreau aptly noted, "The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. No loud sounds firing off, no squeaky wheels making a scene, no signs saying, 'Look at me.'" Rat personifies quiet desperation, adrift in a sea of cider that drowns his silent screams. his existence a ghost ship of unrealized dreams, a dirty deck and molded core, a mirage of freedom with each gulp of his liquid shackles, outwardly menacing, inwardly broken. The portrayal of addiction in media has evolved significantly, offering a complex canvas that ranges from the tragically realistic to the humorously exaggerated.
Come back here, little man! I'm Miss Flanders. There, I said it!
Rat's slide into cider addiction paints a grim picture of how loneliness and despair tag along with substance abuse. It's a real struggle, unlike Smeagol's fantasy-laden yet dark transformation after snagging the ring. Smeagol's drastic shift from friend to murderer over a shiny circle shows addiction's ugly side. Morals go out the window when the craving hits. Nothing is off the table. Saints can become sinners. Angels can become devils. It's a stark reminder. Under addiction's spell, anything goes. While Rat doesn't strangle anyone for cider, his fall is every bit as poignant, spotlighting addiction's power to warp minds and lives. Smeagol's deadly grasp on the ring, morphing him into Gollum, is a chilling nod to addiction's ruinous path, blending fantasy with the harsh truths of dependency. Contrastingly, Bender's alcohol necessity in Futurama introduces a comedic element to addiction. His robotic nature requires alcohol for energy, presenting a unique twist where addiction is not just benign, but essential. This humorous portrayal starkly contrasts with Rat's tragic battle, highlighting how addiction narratives can range from the darkly serious to the lighthearted, depending on the context and nature of the addiction. Rick Sanchez's character in Rick and Morty embodies a more nuanced view of addiction. His alcohol use is depicted as a coping mechanism for deeper issues, blending the comedic with the tragic. Rick's adventures and relationships are significantly affected by his drinking, providing a richer, more integrated depiction of addiction's impact than Rat's isolated struggle. Rick's story suggests that addiction can both coexist with and contribute to complex personal and interpersonal dynamics. Rat's tragic end presents a profound exploration of addiction and existential dread while on the search for nowhere. As he lies dying, Rat's insistence on cider, only to be given a pool of sludge, symbolizes the ultimate deception of addiction.
All these wasted years. What were you looking for, Rat?
He's trying to say something, Dad.
Cider.
This moment, both dark and somber, encapsulates the illusionary solace found in substance abuse. There was no redemption for him despite telling the whereabouts of the kidnapped family member of Mr. Fox. Rat admitted to only telling the fox given he was dying, and that was the only reason why. Not all people are redeemed from their actions. Not all stories finish with a happily ever after. Just like life, there are happy and sad endings. This final curtain call for the Rat also highlights how, in moments of hopelessness or impending demise, whether physical, emotional, or existential, individuals can cling to their vices as a lifeline. A tragic cycle that mirrors the harsh realities of drug addiction and other destructive habits. Addiction in many forms distort reality, turning the toxic into the treasured and the harmful into the desired. The Rat has no backstory, no long drawn-out montage with a neat start, middle, arc, and finish. No in-depth explanation for his descent into addiction. This lack of history is a powerful statement on the nature of addiction and societal judgment. Fox's remark as he sends Rat's body down the sewer, labeling him just another dead rat, sharply conveys Rat's life's perceived value post-duel. This bleak send-off underscores Rat's tragic demise and serves as a poignant metaphor for society's tendency to overlook those battling addiction.
Sure. But in the end, he's just another dead rat in the garbage pail behind a Chinese restaurant.
Philosopher Blaise Pascal mused, All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Let this video challenge you to sit alone with your thoughts to find out who and what you are, your substance, your meaning, your purpose. You might be surprised, shocked, or beautifully overwhelmed. This quote resonates deeply with Rat's plight and the broader human condition depicted in the film. It speaks to the heart of addiction and existential discontent, not just outward, but inward.
Like melted gold.
If this narrative resonated with you, do support us. Hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe. Thank you for staying with us to the end. See you in the next video on Plaid Chronicles.